Alright everyone, I am going to do a really quick hair coloring video on using a really new brand of color that was in my little box of just similar shades of reds that were basically over-the-counter hair color. And this brand is known as Herbatint or Herbatint. I think it's Herbatint is the proper way to say it. And this is a permanent gel hair color that I heard a lot of people say it was vegan, so I thought that was pretty cool. There is not many that are there. It is vegan, cruelty-free and vegan. It is gluten-free hair color. And what I like about Herbatint is that you can pretty much customize your color to anything that you want. So meaning that, let's say that you go into the store like I did and you see a 5R, which is a medium red, and a 5M, which is like kind of like a red violet, and you kind of like both, but you don't know if one is too red or one is too warm. You can actually mix both colors or different ratios and create your own custom shade. If you go on the Herbatint website or look at their YouTube channel, they have a wealth of information and you can look at different hair colors that are for you. You can take their color quiz. You can message them on other social media platforms, and they do a very good job at explaining their product, at getting back to you. And another thing that sets their color apart is that, well, I won't read all of this because it's pretty much on the website, is that they make it very visual. So now not only does the packaging grab your eye, whereas before their packaging looked something like this, where it was very like generic, made by a computer. Now they're using real models with their colors, and you can get another thing too that is good if you have long hair, up to 2 applications with each color. You get 4 fluid ounces with each color. So depending on how long your hair is, or I'm probably going to use both because the more color you use, the better. My hair is really long and thick. So this is enough for 1 application, maybe 2. I use all the colors usually. And in one package now, you will get your colorant, your developer, which is your developer right here, 2 ounces, and your color, which I checked both, and I will say that the color doesn't smell like anything really, which is good. So there is no ammonia, by the way, in this formulation. Low odor. You will have to do your skin allergy test. Mine was good. And on the back, they talk about how they use 8 herbal extracts in their color, so it is a little bit more gentler than a lot of the other colors that are on the market. They give you a packet with your instructions. They give you a their conditioning packet, which I don't believe they did that before, and I thought that was pretty cool. And what I really like is they give you a huge, giant visual chart of their entire color line with all their different colors. They have naturals, they have coppers, they have cool tones. They've got an FF series, which is Flash Fashion, which has all the fun fashion colors, and you can actually use it to mix colors. They claim to have semi-permanent colors, which they indicate, which I'm not really sure how that works, but their Flash Fashion are permanent shades. You can get a permanent violet, a permanent red. I have heard though they fade faster. I haven't tried them personally, but I'm sticking with these. And if you also wanted to make your red shades more intense, you could add their Flash Fashion series to the color. I looked on the website and I found out you can mix both colors, and they give you ideas, they give you concepts. So, and by the way, Herbatint, if you're watching, you could use this video on your website because most people want to know how to get fun reds, and I'm going to mix the mahogany and the red to get a 5RM, a 5 red mahogany, which is essentially like a red violet. It's a very nice, intense red. And what I'm also going to do is, before I do this, I'm just going to pre-lighten my hair, do a few highlights so it really shows up well. So without further ado, I'm going to get to work. And I also want to say that, guys, they do have application kits. And their original application kit I got on sale. It includes a bowl and their little mixing thing, as well as a application brush. Because you want to apply this bowl and brush in a box of hair color, which for some may be upsetting. They don't have a pre-plastic tube. You actually have to mix it in a bowl and apply it with the brush. That's how they recommend you do it for best results, and that's the method I'm going to be using. Their modern application kit comes with an apron and a brush, and I like the apron. I just wish they still had the bowl, but you can really make do with anything. Just don't mix metal, whatever you do. So I'm going to go pre-lighten my hair. I'll do a separate video on that, and I'm going to come back to do the Herbatint video with you guys. Alright guys, so I'm ready to mix the Herbatint, and it is very, very simple and straightforward to mix. You just do equal parts of your color and your developer. Whether you're using 5, 1, 2, 3, how many colors you're doing, you can mix a ton, and I like it because of that. So add equal parts of developer to your Herbatint mixing bowl. I use a color scale, but on the side they also have a measuring cup if it's easier to measure, or you could use the ounces on the side. I just use a measuring scale because it's easier for me just to pour and mix. So I'm going to do 1 ounce of 5R, 1 ounce of 5N, and 2 ounces of developer for my regrowth formula, and the same one for my Ns, but you mix it separate so you get a fresher batch and it helps the color last longer. So I'm going to go measure out, and I'll be back just to show you the end of when I'm applying. But I'm going to section my hair into 4 quadrants, and I'm going to start in the back. This is a pro tip to lighten the back, because your back is more resistant for color if you're going lighter. So I'm going to do the back first, and then do the front, and then do all around, and process it for 45 minutes. When that's done, I'm going to mix the second batch for my mid shaft and ends, and for that it says 10 minutes according to the instructions I got. You may also get your custom instructions through a rep on the phone, on social media, or on the website, so there really is no way this can go wrong, so I like that. So I'll be back. Alright, so I mix the color and it looks something like this. Kind of hard to see, but it's like purpley. There's a little bit of an odor and it kind of smells really gross, kind of earthy, but it's very minor. You have to get like close to smell it. So odor-wise, it's got perfect score. It's not that bad. So I'm going to go apply this and I'll be back when it's... Alright everyone, and this is what the color looks like when it is all on. Pro tip 2, second tip. Because this is ammonia-free hair color, and ammonia-free tends to be a little low lift, I would take a plastic cap and put it over just so you get that extra heat, and it will process longer for 45 minutes, which is average for color. For covering gray, 45 as well. And if you're covering gray, read their instructions because you have to mix a neutral with your color if you want results like mine. And that cap will help it lift efficiently. So cover it with a cap if you want extra lift, if you have dark hair like mine that's resistant. It feels a little cool, it's a little tingly, but not so much. It's like kind of like a cool feeling. So I'm going to process this and I'm going to come back to apply it to the ends. Alright, and this is what the color looks like when it is fully all on. It did drip a little bit, so that is a thing to be mindful of. It could be thicker, but it's too thick to apply in a bottle, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like at an odd consistency. So when you apply it, I just gently rubbed it through the ends quickly. 10 minutes like this. I'm going to put a cap over it for like 5 and then take it off for 5 so it cools down, and then I'm going to rinse. You're supposed to use Herbatint's shampoo, and they include their treatment conditioner, which I haven't smelled yet, so I'll smell it now. And it smells really nice, really sweet. That stays on for 5 minutes, and then you just style like you normally would. So it does tingle quite a bit. If you do have sensitive skin, it's a hit or a miss. When I did my patch test, it didn't itch. So then what you're going to want to do is process it, and that's it. So I will come back on when it is all dried and styled. So I'll see you guys soon. Alright everyone, so what I did was I basically just blow dried my hair. It's rainy out, I can't get a good shot outside in brighter light. However, just getting it blow dried smooth, I am extremely impressed with not only the condition, but the color that it came out. This is probably the reddest I've gotten from something that was basically a box color, let alone the fact that it was vegan and that it was the closest thing you'll get to an organic based color. And if you can see, because of the balayage I did, you can see that it really, really took nice and light, and even underneath it looks nice. Around the hairline it took really well. Where my regrowth was up here, I had about 1 inch of regrowth. It lightened really well, so if you have dark hair, it'll lift to be something like this. Because I added the mahogany in there with the red, I think that it allowed it to get super vibrant. So I am impressed thus far. I am going to smooth it and then come back and show you guys what it looks like then. Another thing I wanted to mention was with this product, you will find that when you apply the color, it may tingle a little bit. It doesn't burn. It doesn't really burn, I wouldn't say, unless you're that sensitive, it might feel it. However, when you go to rinse it, it does take a while to rinse. Eventually though, after about 5 minutes, which is typical for a lot of gel colors, it rinses clear, and then you must shampoo it. I shampooed it with the shampoo, not the one they recommended because I didn't want to spend that money, but a professional brand I use, and it worked just fine. I also wanted to mention that this is Italian hair color, so this is European. European colors run a little bit differently, and I'll make a whole nother video explaining that, but basically European colors tend to have more ammonia-free options, and their pigments tend to be more true to what they say, so they tend to be more intense instead of kind of watered down like a lot of the American colors are. Another thing that I wanted to mention was that this color, when you do rinse it, your hair is gonna feel really, really dry. I thought for a second that my entire hair was fried, and I was like, oh my God, is it gonna break? Like, it feels really dry. But the minute you put the conditioner on it, it changes everything, and it feels like you've never colored your hair before. I don't know what's in it or why that happens chemically, but it really is an interesting experience. So if you do have long hair, you're gonna need 2 of the treatments that they give you, and I left it in for 5 minutes, just like it says. You could probably leave it in longer. I rinsed it on cool water, and then I just styled like usual. So that said, I did not notice any significant hair loss or shedding. In fact, I didn't really notice any, which was pretty shocking because the way it tingled, I thought it was. So overall, it's got a good mark for me, really good score. I'm gonna go smooth it, and I'll come back so you guys can see what the result looks like of when your hair is smoothed after using this product. Also be in mind that this is only when using their red shades. I don't know if their lighter mahogany or their lighter red shades turn out differently. I will say that their red shades, like the 5R, it tends to be more warmer and more copper based, and their 5M, which is the mahogany, tends to be more of like a violety red. So mixing both, you're gonna get this really nice intense red color. You could also add their amplifiers, which is their Flash Fashion series. You could add their violets, or you can add their intense reds to the mixture that I did to get a really, really vibrant red if you so choose, or you could use them alone. Totally up to you guys. So I will be right back, and I will try to finish this up. And what I'm actually gonna probably do is, since it's rainy and gross out, I'm gonna smooth it, and then I'm gonna do a shot out when it's light, and then I'm gonna do a shot in here to wrap up the video for you guys. Alright everyone, this is the best shot I can get outside in bright light. It's raining out. So what I'm gonna do is when it is nicer out and like sunnier out, I'm just gonna try to get a photo and like post it in here of what my hair looks like in better sunlight. But as you can see, it looks really nice. It does look more cool toned, with a few pieces that are highlighted looking slightly warm. Overall it looks really nice. It's pretty even. It's a nice deep red, and I like it a lot. The ends are light, so I like that a lot too. It looks like a nice red violet shade. It's a shade that it doesn't necessarily look naturally red, but it is still trendy enough to where it's not like over the top and overly dramatic red. So that's what I like about it. It's a really good shade if you have like olive color skin with the cool toned. So this is it, out in brighter light. I'm gonna see if I can get a better shot over here. And I'll just post a picture in there because it's starting to get rainy again and I don't want my camera to get ruined. But I will post a second clip to this of the final review of this product. So I'll see you guys soon. Here's just a quick shot of what my hair looks like in brighter light so you guys can see the nice tones that come through. Really nice, really vibrant, shiny, and it feels super healthy. Alright everyone, I am back, and as you can see in the previous clip, out in sunlight or natural light, it looks phenomenal. It does look brighter to an extent, and you do see more violety, cooler tone red pieces out in bright light compared to inside. And to an extent, out in bright light, depending on what the sunlight is like, you might see some warm tones with the highlights, but it is mostly cool tone color, and it's vibrant. In indoor lighting, it looks phenomenal as well, and as I've stated before in other videos, anytime you do a shade of red, whether it be a copper or a red violet, it's gonna look different in different lightings depending on many factors. So I picked the room where I'm at now that has the most, actually the best lighting, so it really shows it well. And As you can see, I would say that my color is pretty darn even from root to tip. Let me see if we can show you that. Coverage wise, it covers really well. If you have dark hair, it does cover well if you process it for the full 45 minutes. And in my own experience, like I said before, if you're working with ammonia-free color, you want to cover it with a cap or something, just so it processes better. That was my own little observation as a professional, and basically just doing it for many years on my own and like on friends. So I just wanted to kind of clarify too on the color. I have both boxes so you can see the different shades. My hair is kind of like a mix of both, so it doesn't really fit perfectly into one swatch. I would say it has more of the 5M, that nice intense red with the hint of warmth from the 5R. So I think mixing both you get a nice intense red color. And I just want to talk a little bit more about the color because I want to give my final rating. My final rating of this color is a 5 out of 5, and I'll explain why. Odor-wise, it was virtually no odor. Application-wise, it was pretty straightforward to apply. Just be mindful that it is a little loose in consistency, so you might drop it. Being a vegan hair color, that is a huge part of the rating because there are like a limited amount of options that people can choose if they are vegan. If they are not only trying to save money, they don't have the money to go to the salon and they want to do something that's a little bit more organic. And if you do have sensitive skin, you could use the color. Just be mindful, it might tingle a little bit, but that is normal. And do your skin allergy test. It also is made with a lot of different ingredients on the back, so read it on the website. So each of these ingredients has their own function in coloring the hair, so I like that. I like the overall design aesthetic of the product. And what really is leading me to give this such a good review is the fact that it encourages you to customize your own hair color compared to something you just get off the shelf. That is why, if you look at the color box, there is no side chart that tells you what your color will look like if you're at a certain level. You can go on their website and go on their social media or call their number, and they will walk you through a color that you like, and they will tell you how to get that color. Depending on your hair length, you will get many applications out of one box, or even if you are mixing shades, whether you're mixing 3 shades, you're gonna have potentially 2 or more applications. I will say too that when you are using this color, you have a wide range of fun shades. So if you are someone who wants something that's relatively low maintenance, you can do their demi-permanent shades because they have a separate line for that. Or you could use their fun fashion shades, which I have heard they don't last as long, but you can still do some fun looks and save a buck potentially. So that's kind of my rating scale on that. It is a good color. Price-wise, it can be pricey, so you might be able to get it on Amazon or at your local health food store. Some of them have events that you can go into, and you can like trade in your old box color for their color. I know major health food stores, some of them do that as like an event. So Herbatint is a great line of color to use. It's Italian color, it's European, it has that kind of fun thing to it. They have a YouTube. I highly recommend you check their YouTube out. I am a very satisfied customer using their color, and I like it a lot. So before I leave, I'll give you guys just a quick overview of what this color looks like. Another thing I wanted to mention too is if you see right here, closer to the root, which is kind of hard, I do have some grays, and the color did color them really nicely. And European color, before I forget, is, like I said, highly pigmented. So basically, when you're working with those really intense pure pigments, if you do have gray hair, or if you are mostly gray, and you throw that color on your hair with the grays, it is going to take that color and it's going to suck it up. So you might end up wanting something like this nice mahogany color, and you may get pinky purple hair, and that's probably not what you want. So while this color will cover gray, you have to mix it with the neutral. So without getting in detail with that, I'll do a separate video on Herbatint, the line. You're gonna wanna call the rep and they will tell you how to get that color. Herbatint has been around since 1970, so for about 40 years they have been basically teaching people how to color their hair, and I thought that was pretty cool. So on the sides too, if you look where I have the more resistant hair, it colored it really well. Through the mid shaft and ends, it's pretty even, it's pretty vibrant, and overall really nice. It's a nice red shade, intense, pretty fashionable, perfect for like the Valentine's Day February color. So that's the back shot of it. So Herbatint, fantastic color. Highly recommend you purchase it and try the formula that I made for myself, 5 red mahogany, 5 RM. So comment down below, have you guys used this color? I want to know. Tell me what you think. And in my next video, I'll post a comment box of the potential colors I'll use for my next review. So like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think.